channel, and I am wanting to talk about Colorado Buffaloes football team. Colorado is improving. Colorado is improving. And so in this video, I want to talk about and share some of the stats for Colorado games thus far. And as I go through the different stats, you'll see that they are actually improving on the defensive end and on the offensive end. And so you'll see some stats that are glaring from game to game. So if this is first time checking me out, ongoing sports talk channel, feel free to give me a thumbs up after the video, a like, subscribe, comment, and what you're thinking. All right, so the first game of the season was North Dakota State against North Dakota State, and this game was actually pretty close. But CU won 31, North Dakota State 26. In this particular game, the total offense for North Dakota State was 449. Colorado was 504. The passing yards total was 292 for North Dakota State, 445 for Colorado. Rushing, now this is the big difference here. Rushing was 157, North Dakota State, 59 for Colorado. First downs, North Dakota State had 25 first downs, and Colorado had 22 first downs. Penalties, North Dakota State had 5 penalties for 44 yards. CU had 3 penalties for 30 yards. Interceptions, North Dakota State had no interceptions. CU had 1 interception. Now, this is what made this game still close, even though CU won. This is what made it close, in my opinion. The time of possession. North Dakota State time of possession was 36 minutes 44. 36-44 for North Dakota State, and CU 23-16. What a difference. What a difference there. Now, CU defense. Now, I will say that the defense has been playing pretty well, but it's generally been more on the second half than the first half. But their defense had 49 tackles in this game and 2 sacks. One from Levanta Bentley and one from Chizozi Wanakwo. And I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Kicking field goal, Mata had 1 for 1. And Jimmy Horn had the most yards, receiving yards. He had 198 in the game. So that's the stats for the North Dakota State. But CU did win the game, 31-26. Let's go on to the Nebraska game. Nebraska game, it was a away game. Nebraska won 28-10. And you will see the reason why they lost. Looking at the stats here. So the total offense for CU, 260. Total offense for Nebraska, 334. Passing yards. CU had 244 yards. Nebraska had 185 yards. But this is the glaring difference right here. Rushing. CU only had 16 yards rushing. No wonder they lost the game. You definitely got to have more rushing yards than that. But they only had 16 yards rushing. Nebraska had 149. Huge disparity there. First downs total, CU had 15. Nebraska had 22. Penalties. This didn't help either. 9 penalties for 104 yards for CU. Nebraska had 12 penalties for 105. Fumbles. CU had 1 fumble. Nebraska didn't have any fumbles. Interceptions. CU had 1 interception. So Shedeur threw 1 pick, and then they caused a fumble on our end. So and they didn't have any takeaways on their end. Now, Travis Hunter had the most receiving yards in this game. He had 110 yards. The defense had 45 tackles and no sacks. So, like I said, the defense has been generally a little bit better from the beginning than the offense. Special teams, Nebraska was 2 for 35, punts 2 for 16, so 35 yards and then 16 yards. So not too bad for special teams. Mata, as far as field goals, he was 1 for 2. Jace was 0 for 1. Punting, Mark he was 5 for 220. So as you can see with the stats there, definitely the huge difference I see here was the rushing. And let me see, did I put the time? I forgot to put the time of possession. Forgot about that. I'm sorry about that. But I'm pretty sure the time of possession was a disparity in that as well. Now, let's go on to Colorado State game. So CU was at Colorado State this time. So I got it backwards. So CU 28, Colorado State 9. And total offense, Colorado State 340, CU 419. Passing yards, Colorado State 209, CU 310. Rushing 131 for Colorado State, I'm sorry, and 109 for CU. Now, as you can see, the rushing yards was a lot better in this particular game. First downs for Colorado State, 17-23 for Colorado. Penalties, Colorado State had 10 for 94 yards. CU had 12 for 115 yards. So had to work on the committing penalties. That goes with being disciplined and things like that. And then sometimes games are just like that, where the refs are just calling penalties left and right. Sometimes it can become a sloppy game on both ends. So unfortunately, you have a lot of penalties and things like that. But CU had more penalties than Colorado State. But this is where I believe the reason why Colorado won, because Colorado State gave up 2 fumbles, and CU gave up 1. But Colorado State gave up 2 interceptions, or the quarterback threw 2 interceptions and none on CU's end. Now, the time of possession was very, very close. Very, very close. Colorado State time of possession was 29:53, and CU's time of possession was 30:07. So that's real close. But I think the turnovers is what hurt Colorado State. CU was able to capitalize off those turnovers. And CU ran the ball just as well as Colorado State ran the ball, especially from the Nebraska game. So they really have been improving upon the rushing, along with still the throwing is still efficient as well. All right. In this game, the defense had 37 tackles, and Daniel Hayes had 2 sacks. along in the game, and McKinney, Hill, Green, and Bentley, they all had 4 tackles apiece. So they tied there. So that's the Colorado State. CU 28, Colorado State 9. Now let's go over to the Baylor game. Now this was a heck of a game. Went into overtime. Very exciting game. Let's check out these stats here. Colorado, first of all, Colorado 38, Baylor 31. Now let's check out the stats here. Total offense for Colorado was 432 and Baylor was 314. Now that's a big difference. Passing yards, 341 Colorado, 148 Baylor. Rushing, didn't run as the rushing yards was a little bit lower in this game than the Colorado State game, but 91 yards rushing for CU, 166 for Baylor. So they rushed the ball better, but CU had more first downs. They had 24 first downs to Baylor 15. Penalties has gotten a little bit better. So CU had 6 penalties for 45 yards, and Baylor had 7 penalties for 69 yards. So they did do much better in the penalty area. They had more first downs, and the rushing yards wasn't as many as Baylor, but it was close, a little bit better. And the time of possession, I think, is what really made the difference in them winning this game in overtime. The time of possession, 35:57 to Baylor 24:03. So that was a huge difference there. They got the ball more and had the ball more on offense than Baylor did. So you get more opportunities to score. Now in this game, Shedeur had the most rushing carries, and Augustslave had the most yards. Travis had the most receiving yards at 130, 7 receptions. On the defensive end, the defense had 44 tackles and 1 sack, and that was from Shane Coates. Simon Craig had the most tackles in this game. He had 10 tackles in this game, so he was just flying around all over the place in this game. And he's been playing some real good football in pretty much all the games he's been getting. But he was really tackling folks in this game. So as you can see, CU wins in overtime. It was a heck of a game. 38, Baylor 31. All right, so let's go on to the UCF game. UCF game. This was at UCF. Colorado 48, UCF 21. Man. Now this was the most complete game that I've seen Colorado play thus far. By far, this season and last season, this has been the best I've seen them play on offensive end, defensive end, special teams, kicking field goals, punting, or kickoffs. I mean, everything. So let's go to the stats. Total yards. Total offense for Colorado was 418. And total offense for UCF is 461. Now I know that there's a difference there between the total offenses, but we have to realize that UCF is known to have a great running game. In their last games, they was running all over people. But with the CU game, it was a big difference. But they did edge CU in the total offense. They had 461 and Colorado had 418. Passing yards was close. Passing was 290 CU, UCF 284. So that was real close between the two quarterbacks. I think they actually both quarterbacks I think had good games. They had good games. Now the rushing 128 for CU, 177 for UCF. Again, UCF is known to average up in the 300 yards over several games, and they only did 177. So that says something about the defense stepping up, not letting them run all over the place, but really kind of keeping them at bay where they wasn't just going off on their rushing. So that is a good job for the defense. But offensive wise, CU doing 128, much improved, been improving and improving. So the passing yards is 290. The rushing yards is 128. So you're getting a little bit more of a balance between the rushing and the passing on CU's end. And that's what you want to see, especially in this conference, because you got to be able to run the ball, not just pass. You got to be able to run the ball as well. First downs, CU had 26. UCF had 24, so they were close in that category. Penalties, CU had 10 for 75 yards. UCF had 7 for 80 yards. So CU had a lot more penalties, but it really didn't matter too much in this game. Interceptions, Shedeur did throw one pick, but their quarterback threw 2 picks. Fumbles, and I think this is a difference in the game as well. They had CU defense caused 2 fumbles, recovered 2 fumbles, and we was able to capitalize off of those fumbles. We was able to capitalize off of those interceptions as well, and that really hurt UCF. Those 4 takeaways combined really hurts UCF. Now, UCF actually won the time of possession. It's close between the two. As you can see, UCF 30-03 and CU 29-57. And I think the reason why the time of possession was a little bit lower is because CU was able to actually score quicker in some of these these iterations that they had. When they had the ball, they was able to kind of get in the end zone a lot quicker. But this is what really shows that the defense really had a great, really good game. They had 60 tackles in this game, the most out of any of the games, out of all the games. This game, they had 60 tackles, 5 sacks. Will Sheppard had the most receiving yards. He had 99. Taj McCoy had the most sacks at 2 himself. Mata, he was 2 for 2 as far as kicking field goals. Vassett was 3 for 131. So as you can see, Colorado football is improving. But where I really see where they're improving at is the defense has gotten is getting better and better and better. Offense is catching up, but the running the ball, they are showing that they can run the ball, and they was able to run the ball, and they was able to keep UCF from running all over the field because they were one of the top rushing offenses in the whole nation, and CU defense was able to keep them at bay. And so I really believe that was the difference of the game. The defense stepped up. Offensive line did a great job in protecting Shedeur. I think they only gave up maybe just 1 or 2 sacks or something like that. Much improved from that game before. And that's the reason why they ended up winning this game and winning it in good fashion. Colorado again, 48. UCF 21. So I hope that you enjoyed um, this video of showing how Colorado has been improving, and they look again the best game thus far against UCF. Now they're on to play Kansas State, another big test for them. We'll see what comes out of that one. But anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, and talk to you next time. Ongoing Sports Talk is out.